So, finishing up, let's see what good games. Here we go. One of the best games of the day, if not the best. Arkansas hosts, or Texas A&M hosting Arkansas. We've heard this every year for like 3 years now. Texas A&M, they're so hyped. They move up in the AP poll. They go to 5-0, and then they look horrible for a few games. Then they come back, and they get to like 8 wins or 7 wins. Kevin Sumlin's got to turn that mindset around. It's kind of like the opposite of what Arkansas was the last couple of years. Arkansas started slowly but finished out fiery at the end of the year. Texas A&M starts strong and finishes sloppily, I guess. But Trevor Knight has given them the spark they've needed. The defense has looked okay under John Chavis. Arkansas, I'd say they're still more physical. The defensive line has looked really good. The QB is definitely grown up from that line of brothers, I should say. So, as much as I want to pick Arkansas to win, I think Texas A&M gets it done. As long as they don't have too many injuries still. Haven't checked their depth chart. But yeah, so I'd say Texas A&M wins this one. Will it go to overtime again? Who knows? But it should be a dogfight throughout. Another interesting one some people might be overlooking a little bit. We've got Cal going to Arizona State. Arizona State defensively suck. I mean, that's pretty much all you can say about them. They looked bad against UTSA. They had to come back in the fourth quarter in the last couple minutes to win that game. So yeah, California really surprised some people, beating Texas, and in my opinion, pretty much eliminating the Big 12's playoff hopes. Because who honestly thinks Baylor's going to go run the table? They absolutely suck so far. So, I mean, that's just a joke. But Cal, it's just a shame they lost to San Diego State, because I don't think San Diego State is very good. I think if they get to a group of 6 bowl, I think they're going to get embarrassed, to be honest. Defensively, they got a lot to work on. So Cal, Arizona State's favored by 3.5. But Cal, I think, is just a better defensive team. I mean, based on the competition so far, I guess it's kind of hard to predict. Arizona State's offense is surefire, except for last week, when even a hint of a defensive team kind of showed them trouble. But I think Cal's going to get the so-called upset here. Utah State had a surprising blowout loss to USC. But this is home at Utah State. But Air Force, if they get past this game, they could have a shot to go undefeated regular season. So yeah, Mountain West Conference, it looks pretty strong. Has quite a few front runners. Of course, I guess the main 3 are Air Force, San Diego State, Boise State, but Utah State is definitely in the mix. But I don't know, that's going to be a dogfight. Then we've got Arizona finally being tested against Washington finally being tested against Arizona. Arizona, they've not looked good. They were down 21-0 in the first half against Grambling State. And that's not the Grambling State of old. That's sucky Grambling State, the same team that went on strike because of mold in their locker room or something a few years ago. If any of you remember that story. So, Washington, people are hyping them up and saying they've blown out anybody. That's a bunch of flat-out bullshit. They have not blown out a single team. They looked pathetic against Portland State. Now, granted, they've I mean, it's always obvious to tell who's the dominant team on the field and who's going to win from like the first snap. But I mean, I think if you want to try to impress the committee, I think the committee does look at style points, really blowing teams that they're supposed to blow them out and cover the spreads. I think that's more of an issue than the people like Jeff Long and the committee members would like to admit. That's why I think Louisville should have kept on the gas and not let Florida State score 10 points in the fourth quarter. Because 63-20, it was not really that close. But Washington, they hadn't blown out anybody. They beat Rutgers maybe like by 40, if that. Portland State, they didn't even beat them by 40. They didn't cover in the least. So Washington, I'm not sure what to expect from them. Jake Browning has had good numbers so far. And Coach Peterson, I think is this his third year or second year? I think this may be his second or third. I think they're going to go surpass last year's in the win total, but I don't think they're a national title contender. That being said, I don't think any team from the Pac-12 really is. Stanford, maybe if their offense can improve. But yeah, that's just my opinion. But I do think Washington probably they pull out the win. And games that have already been played. The closing game, I actually thought Georgia Tech was going to give them more of a fight. Clemson, once again, looked awful. Once they got out to an early first quarter lead, they looked awful the rest of the game. It's not a championship team to just get out to like a decent lead and then just sit on it the rest of the game. Utah again had that comeback win last night. Eastern Michigan, you saw that game mainly because of the protesters. Not all African American, by the way. That's pretty contentious in parts of where I live, but get so tired of hearing about racial issues. Some of them that don't even matter. If people just learn to get along. Of course, it's more complicated than that, but you know. And then TCU showing how bad they are against SMU. So yeah, that's it, guys. I'm going to be coming back in a few days with my first Scooby-Doo review. I never got to do the movie review of like the Pack and those shorts from the early 1960s, but I'll definitely be doing those and reviewing some SpongeBob episodes as well, reviewing songs, you name it, talking about political issues, social issues. So yeah, I'll be doing quite a bit, and hopefully my channel gets some exposure in the near future. I'm out.